There we go. There we go. I just had to close the app and come back. The live was acting really funny. Um, but hi guys, welcome in. I am standing for today's live, so if you see me kind of like rocking or pacing, it's because I'm standing and I'm shifting my weight slash moving around and stuff because it's been quite a while minute since I did a little standing live. I'm trying to stand as much as possible today. Did my little like morning AM strength training, I want to say, rather than workout. I did more strength training today, just because that's what the mood was. I go with the flow of what my body is desiring and needing, so I did some stretching and some stretch training. But today we're talking about how inflammation is fueling in the body when it comes to diabetes, weight gain, and disease. These are three silent killers that is going on inside of our body that a lot of people don't realize it's happening. And so this issue that we have with inflammation is the key factor to all of these silent killers with inflammation, disease, illnesses, all of this. And so they all go hand in hand to making your life not only have to be a struggle, but also a battle every single day. So outside of the struggle of just like, oh, I don't feel good, but thinking about the fact that your body internally is fighting. It's having to work overtime to compensate for all the crap that you eat, for all the inflammation that it's going through. Your systems are trying to function the way they should be, and it can't. And so when you are struggling with things like weight gain, low energy, diabetes, or you just feel like something is going, it's just off in your body and it's not going correctly, it's not going the way that it should be, you have to take a look at how much inflammation is happening inside of your body and what signs you are seeing from inflammation. Because low energy, weight gain, fatigue, mental fog, you sitting here dealing with the issues of PCOS, fibroids, endometriosis, IBS, these are all different signs of you having an overload of inflammation. And so this is allowing your body to, or this is allowing you to realize that inflammation is thriving inside of your body rather than being expelled. And so when you take that mental inventory and realize that, okay, so I've been feeding inflammation, this gives you the opportunity to correct the issue, get rid of the block, the imbalance. So for the people that feel like, okay, diseases happen randomly, this runs in my family, I want you to understand, first of all, it does not run in your family, nor does it happen randomly. The foods that you eat on a daily basis affect your inflammation and also the diseases that stem from this, as well as the fact that the foods that you eat either keep you healing or they keep you sick. So if you start to realize that food is medicine and something for you to help you heal from the inside out, you'll start to change the ways that you eat. You'll start to change the ingredients that you consume. You'll start to read your labels. You'll stop eating so much crap when it comes to Oreos, Swedish Fish, you going to McDonald's, Burger King, Sonic, whatever fast food chain that you love, chain restaurants. You'll stop going to these places because you'll realize that they're fueling inflammation inside of your body when it shouldn't be there. So today we're going to be talking about chronic inflammation, specifically what it is, what the root cause of the disease is, why it's the root cause of the disease, and then how to fix it before it literally takes over your life and makes you unalive earlier than what you're desired to and what you should be on this earth. Because so many people are leaving this earth earlier than what they're supposed to be, all because they're following these food pyramids and these my plates of what they're told that they should be consuming, and they think that this is the way that they should be eating all of their life. They think that, okay, I work out so I'm healthy, and they think that like, okay, I eat boiled chicken and do diet culture so I'm healthy. But then they wonder why later on they develop high blood pressure. They sit here and have an overload of inflammation inside their gut, so they have IBS, they have endometriosis, they have PCOS, infertility issues in general, low sperm count. All of these are stemming because you're not realizing you have been programmed into a system in a society that poisons you with the food that you eat and does not teach you early on how to support your body with food. And so this is the reason why we're breaking down chronic inflammation today, and we're talking about that. So for anybody that's in here currently right now, I want to know, do you suffer from inflammation? Specifically, are you having issues with any diseases? Are you having any issues with IBS? Are you having unexplained weight gain? What issues do you have currently going on right now? And drop them in the comments. I would like to know if you feel comfortable sharing, obviously. If you don't feel comfortable sharing, I understand. But do you have a specific issue that you're going through and you know that it's caused by inflammation? Simple as you're saying, like, oh, okay, I have bloating, I have an overload, maybe I have a painful menstrual cycle. What are you currently going on right now? For the people that are in the chat, what do you have going on? And if you are ready to learn how to fight back, I would love to know what you have going on so then I know how to help you. So what do you currently have going on right now for the people in the chat before we get started with all of our points? Hair loss. Hair loss is an issue for you. Thank you for the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. Hair loss is a big issue in men, especially nowadays. Like, I think the like hair plug-in wave happened some years ago, but we're seeing a whole lot of issues with men nowadays having hair loss, and a lot of people are not realizing the fact that it's not because male pattern baldness, I think that's what they label it as, is something that is just going to happen and men just go bald. They're not realizing an overloaded inflammation is, your hair is a direct sign to tell you how healthy you are. If you know this, or if you don't know this, when your hair is brittle, unhealthy, when you're losing your hair, that's a sign to let you know that you are not healthy internally, because your hair should be thriving. If you are healthy, you would be getting everything that you need, so then your body, your hair would be shiny, it would be lasting, it would be not breaking off, it would be sitting there not only growing but thick. And so many people are dealing with a overloaded inflammation and toxins, and so that is making their scalp be affected as well, and they're not realizing that. And so that is a big issue with society, and we can talk more about that as we go down the line. You said heart palpitations, so that's another issue also with inflammation and toxin buildup, because if you are having issues with the heart, that means that your organs are working overtime, and that means now to the point where it's not being managed by the other organs, so now it's affecting the heart, and the heart is one of the key components inside of your body that your brain as well as your other organs try to protect, because you know, if you're having a heart attack, that is literally your body attacking itself. And so when you are having issues with the heart, you have to realize that that is your body's sign to show you that your organs have not only been working overtime, but now they can't compensate anymore, and so it's affecting the heart. And so that is an issue that you need to get in check immediately, because if you are not thinking about the fact that your heart is literally like how you are here and how you're living and how you're supposed to be thriving, think about it in the space of, do people get heart transplants as often as, which transplants in general are hard to come by, but as far as like a liver or a kidney or a pancreas or something, no. Because the heart is literally a vital organ that is irreplaceable. Your heart attack literally sets the tone for how long you're going to be here. If you have a heart attack, you know that your lifespan has shortened to about less than 5 years, possibly. Let's just say that. If you were having other issues with your kidney, with your liver, with your pancreas, or whatever else, and on top of that having heart issues, this is knocking down your years by at least 20. At least 20. And so this is the reason why we're seeing people that are hitting their 60s and their 70s and they're not making it past that. And we're seeing that this expectancy of life has gone all the way from being in their hundreds all the way down to men and women aren't making it past 75. And the reason why is because we're not putting two and two together when it comes to the connection of the fact that we're overloaded with inflammation and toxins, and we're not expelling it correctly, but we're following diet culture and my plates and food pyramids, and we're still all eating the same way, expecting a different result when it's not going to give you a different result. Net said that they are dealing with diabetes, so this is also going to help you, because inflammation and diabetes go hand in hand, as well as weight fluctuation, which we'll be talking about in this live. What other things do you have guys going on? Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. I don't see any more comments, so we will get to our points, but we're talking about inflammation. Diabetes can be talked about, as well as obviously heart palpitations and hair loss. All of these are stemming from overload. An overload of toxins, which in return gives you inflammation, right? So firsthand, we know from not only observation but scientific fact how inflammation destroys our health. You understand that when you are over-inflamed, you get things like arthritis, you have knee pain, back pain, hip pain, all these different things. And I've worked with so many different people, as well as experienced this myself, that go through the cycle of dealing with this pain monthly or weekly or daily and feeling exhausted, as well as depending on a medication. And we don't realize that, first of all, you don't need to depend on a medication, nor do you need to be depending on a doctor. What you need to depend on, okay, I have a diagnosis, now let me go figure out how to help my body heal. I can depend on food, because food is medicine if I'm using it correctly. So when you learn that This all can be healed from your inflammation, from your toxin buildup. You can release and you can reset your body so you're no longer dealing with anything that you've been diagnosed with. You will come away from the mindset of, I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. I have to take a prescription for the rest of my life. I have to have this surgery. Because you don't have to do these things. Because if you don't know this, your body is a healing vessel. Your body literally can heal itself from the inside out. It's the matter of, are you blocking your healing, or are you supporting your body in getting back to a healed space? Because if you're blocking your healing, like majority of society is doing, you're going to see an overload of toxins, which is going to lead you to having inflammation, which is going to feed illness and disease, which is going to allow it to thrive. So every single day you're feeding cancer. Every single day you're feeding diabetes. Every single day you're feeding your different organs terrible toxins, so your kidneys aren't filtering your blood the way that they should. Your liver and your pancreas are working overtime trying to compensate for the overload of insulin that you have running through your body. I want you to know that the first step that you need for you to be able to start reversing your inflammation naturally is you first defining what the issue is, getting to the root cause. Because inflammation itself is not the problem. Because I've talked about this before and I want to break this down. Your body goes through an inflammation state when you are working out. When you are working out, your body is literally breaking down a muscle to build it back up, right? That's inflammation if you don't know this. So when your body is sitting there breaking down that muscle to build it back up and make it stronger and bigger, that's a healthy inflammation. That's a good kind of inflammation. Society has put all inflammation in a bad category. And so we think when you bring up inflammation, we're all like, oh, that's the culprit. That's the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is the type of inflammation that you go through every single day. Thank you for the follows and the likes. Your body uses inflammation to heal itself, but you also have to understand the opposite side of the fact that society is eating inflammatory foods, which cannot help you heal, blocks your healing. And so for the people that sit there and they think that like, okay, I work out, but I'm in a whole bunch of pain. I work out and I know that I've been out of the gym for a while, but I shouldn't feel like this. That's correct. You are correct. Because that little breakdown and buildup shouldn't be a, oh my goodness, it feels like I'm literally tugging my body to try to make it cross the finish line. Yes, it's going to be difficult because obviously working out is something that's not easy. But you have to understand that if it feels like it's literally a tussle and a hassle for you to work out and you're having knee pain, back pain, you're having all these issues and you feel like you can't make it by, that's a sign to let you know that you have damage going on inside of your body. Your immune system, your metabolism, your organs, your joints, there's something that has been damaged that you have not helped heal. And it's possible for you to help it heal. It's just a matter of knowing how to do this. So let's point out different signs of chronic inflammation. If you do not know them, I want to point them out before we get deeper into this. The signs of chronic inflammation is weight gain that won't budge, specifically around the lower belly area, because a lot of women have that issue, as well as an unexplained weight fluctuation, joint pain, body aches. Hold on, I hear something talking from my, okay, there we go. Because I was like, I hear something talking from my screen. Sorry, there we go. I had a video that had just started playing for whatever reason. You know how that goes. Brain fog and memory loss is another thing. Fatigue, that's another issue. Thank you for the follow. Digestive problems. So like I said, IBS, bloating, constipation, or diarrhea. All of these are issues to show you that you have chronic inflammation. Yes. That is a sign. Even if you're constipated or if you are releasing and you can't stop, that's a sign of chronic inflammation, because that's your body's way of expelling a toxin. That is your release pathway. So if you're having an issue in your release pathway, that's a sign to let you know that you have a block. Skin issues, so acne, eczema, rashes, you having what is it called? Hyperpigmentation, because I have hyperpigmentation that I'm still healing to this day. These are all signs of chronic inflammation. When you were dealing with painful menstrual cycles as women, that's a sign of chronic inflammation. If you have an overload of estrogen inside of your body, like a lot of women are estrogen dominant, you have to realize that that is your body's way of telling you that, hey, your hormones are imbalanced. And when you have a hormone imbalance, it's caused by inflammation. Inflammation is from toxins being built up and not being released. Where do toxins store themselves inside of your body? In your fat cells. What do women have an issue with? Lower belly, weight gain. Where do toxins love to store themselves the most in the beginning before they have nowhere else to go? lower belly, arms, face, legs, because this is where your non-vital organs are. So you can still function with all of that excess fat in those other places. But when it has nowhere else to go, this is when it starts to store around your liver. It starts to store around your kidney. It starts to store around your heart. This is how you get fatty liver disease, kidney disease. Not the only way, but this is a key factor of a way to start piling on more around those vital organs, which cause them to work overtime. So, what the doctors don't talk about and what don't tell you is the fact that Western medicine treats symptoms. They don't help you get to the root cause. So yes, go to your doctor. Yes, get a diagnosis, but you're not going to help be able to heal your body because you're not getting to the root cause by taking what the doctor tells you and going to take a medication or a prescription or going to get a surgery. Western medicine is designed to keep you as a customer because you're a customer. A patient is a customer. They don't view you as somebody who is ill that needs to heal. They view you as somebody who has eaten themselves into a disease or an illness, and they're going to keep doing this, and you're going to keep eating this way. You're going to keep using the same products, and they know this, so then they know that you're a constant returning customer. And so this is why so many people stay sick and they don't know how to release it. Because you're not realizing that you're not getting to the root cause to actually release the block and treat the issues that you have going on. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it, and the follows, guys. So, how is inflammation fueling diseases and illnesses inside of your body? Let's talk about the connection. Chronic inflammation is going to lead you to having insulin resistance. So if you have diabetes, you have to look at how much inflammation is going on inside of your body. Your body is going to stop responding to insulin. The cells inside of your body are going to stop responding to insulin, and it's going to make your blood sugar go through the roof. This is the starting point for pre-diabetic symptoms. This is going to lead you to having type 2 diabetes, weight gain, type 3 diabetes. These are all the onsets of you leading yourself down a path of having diabetes, like majority of society does. And we believe that this runs in our family because we know that, okay, our great-grandma, our grandpa, our great-grandpa, whoever had diabetes. So we automatically think when they say, oh, you're pre-diabetic, oh, this runs in my family. But it doesn't run in your family. What runs in your family is the fact that everybody has the same eating habits, the same terrible toxic habits, and it gets passed down generation to generation, and nobody does anything differently. The disease is not holding on to your family. Your family's holding on to the things that keep you ill. And so when you look and you realize the fact that there are over 88 million adults in the US that have pre-diabetes symptoms, and that half of them don't even realize that they're pre-diabetic, you will sit back and you'll realize that yes, we have catered to the fact that we keep this disease alive in families because we all do the same terrible toxic habits, and we never get to the root cause. We never do any type of, what is the word I'm thinking of? Observation. In an actual observation, not just looking and being like, oh yeah, they so-and-so gained weight, but an actual observation to realize like, you eat chitlins and you eat chicken and pork and all this different stuff, and so do I, and that's why we both have diabetes. We both sit here and love to eat cakes and cookies and ice cream and love to sit here and eat all these drink all these sugary drinks every day and all day, and that's the reason why we're both sitting here pre-diabetic. Because that's the real observation that you need to look at. The fact that you don't know how to read any of your labels, and yet you sit here and you still consume all of this toxic crap. You sit here every single day and you eat your emotions because you know you're stressed out. Everybody's stressed out currently right now. And instead of sitting back and saying, you know what, I can feed a sugar craving without literally completely throwing off my balance, you don't do any observation to realize, okay, my health is struggling, but I think that I'm eating healthy by doing diet culture. Inflammation is going to disrupt your metabolism, which is going to cause you to have weight gain. This is going to be because you are making your body store more fat and burn less calories when your metabolism is low. You could be eating healthy and following diet culture, but there's still going to be a struggle. And do you understand why there's still going to be a struggle? Because the underlying issue is not being dealt with. Inflammation is the issue that you have not dealt with. Because diet culture is keeping you in the space of thinking, I can take care of my body right now in this second, but in a minute I don't have to eat that way, because at the end of the day, I've lost 5 pounds. I lost 10 pounds, right? But you're not realizing the fact that you haven't addressed inflammation itself. You've just dealt with the weight gain in the water weight. You've dealt with the surface. You're not dealing with the deep dive into it. And that's the issue. You have to deal with the whole entirety of inflammation itself in order for you to actually start healing and not just managing like you're doing currently right now, what society is doing right now with their diet culture. Because this managing, I forgot my earrings, y'all. This managing is keeping us passing down generational curses of diseases and illnesses, because it is a generational curse. It doesn't run in your family, but you keep cursing your family with these same terrible toxic foods and thinking that if it's approved by this official that's in the GOV, then okay, it's okay for me to eat. They have it on the shelf, so it's okay for me to eat. But then they turn around in 5 to 10 years and tell you, oh, this is toxic, it causes cancer. We should really ban this, but every other country doesn't allow it. Now they're sitting there trying to fight against, what is it, red dye or red something or yellow something, whatever dye it is, one specific color of dye, when all dyes are toxic and terrible for you. So that's why I say you really have to sit back and observe the way that they talk to us and how they view us as people, because they don't view us as people. They view us as consumers that are ignorant and do not know any better. And so they know that we're going to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And then when we finally catch on, they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to give them a little breadcrumb of this is what you need to do for your body. And they don't tell you the full entirety of what they're doing, let alone how to help your own body heal. Your doctor tells you how to manage. Your doctor has never come to you and said, I can help you heal this issue that you have going on. You know what they do? They diagnose you and then say, here's a prescription. Here's your checkup. This is the next time you come in. I hope this works for you. And if it doesn't, we'll just up your dosage or change it out. They don't tell you that, oh, you have an overloaded inflammation and so it's causing pre-diabetic symptoms. You know what you need to start doing? Eat more fruits and vegetables, cut out meat and dairy, and realize the fact that you have been eating the wrong way all of your life. Your nutritionist is not telling you that either, because you talk to nutritionists and they're still promoting you eating dairy and meats, but they're not telling you that it's dairy and meat, specifically chicken, feeds type 2 diabetes. Dairy feeds inflammation. So does pork, so does beef. And so they're not telling you that it's feeding the inflammation inside of your body, but they tell you that just get the leanest meat out there. It'll be okay. I love cheese. I went plant-based. I still love cheese. There are so many plant-based cheeses, and the way that plant-based cheese is really elevating itself, you can't even tell the difference. And I make my own plant-based cheese sauce. It's linked in it's pinned to my bio here on TikTok. But you have to realize that they're programming you. The only reason why you love cheese so much is because they've added a addictive chemical inside of cheese, if you don't know this. I found this out the first year, I think probably before I went plant-based the first year. I want to say probably like the first couple of years of me doing research into food. They add an addictive chemical inside of cheese that makes you crave dairy more. There is a reason why they do all of these scientific tests before they release out new products, and they do all of this marketing before they release out new products to make sure that you're going to want to eat it and it's good and appealing to the consumer, because they respond to your dopamine. That dopamine response is going to make you subconsciously train yourself to pick it up, more likely eat it more likely go to this rather than this product. That's the same reason why when you subconsciously assume that healthy foods and vegan is immediately eating a salad, you immediately go, ugh. Your face goes, what is that? What is that made from? And you know why? Because you have trained your subconscious to believe that healthy is nasty. You have trained your subconscious to not even crave fruits and vegetables anymore, but only crave crap. If you want to know what you should eat more of, stay for the rest of the live. I'll tell you at the end, because I'm going to give you what you need to do and why and how at the end. Thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it, because you're not addressing the root cause of the issue. And so we're so surface level on our health, and we're so surface level on what we should be eating, because when they tell you your food pyramid in my plate and you follow this or you get taught this all your life, even though they can change it whenever they feel like it, right? You get taught all these things, and then you sit back in your 40s and 50s and you're looking back at your life and you're sitting there like, well, how in the world did I develop this when I followed a diet culture? I followed keto, I did paleo, I did X, Y, Z, what you needed me to do. Natural sugar from fruit is not terrible for your body. The only reason why you believe that is because they tell you sugar is terrible. They don't tell you how to eat correctly. If you're eating anything besides fruits and vegetables, the sugar from fruit should not be your problem. You said, no, I do not eat any Impossible meat, nor do I eat any Beyond Meat. They're terrible, toxic ingredients inside of those. I literally make everything that I love in a plant-based form, and I do it. If you want to know more, I do have plenty of food, not plenty, but I have some recipes posted on here, but I also have a cookbook that's linked in my bio. We can train ourselves. It was good for us. Exactly. The thing about it is that these are things that we were supposed to be taught when we first were here, started eating. Because when you think about a child who's first developed their teeth, they're just starting to eat, or even before they even get their teeth, but rather they sit here and they consume. Think about what you feed a child. Purees, right? What are the purees of? White sugar is inflammatory. It's a highly processed sugar that is terrible, toxic. Same thing with brown sugar, because brown sugar is just white sugar with molasses added. All of that terrible processed sugar is the issue, not the natural sugar from fruits. So when you think about, okay, this little itty bitty baby finally has started eating, you hit this mark and now you're at the milestone where you should start eating. You feed them purees, right? So when you look and you observe, what do you put on the child's plate and their squeeze bottle or whatever else that they can start eating? Pureed carrots, sweet potatoes. You give them pureed different types of veggies, pureed fruits. You don't slap them a steak in a bottle and say, here you go. And that child thrives for months without you giving them any meat, without any dairy. So why, when they hit the age of starting to develop teeth, do we slide in and start giving them meat? If a child sits there and can thrive for months without any fruits and with only fruits and vegetables, no meat, no dairy, why at a certain point do we start feeding them meat? Why at a certain point do we start giving them cow's milk? Because even when you look in scripture, how it talks about the fact that when you grow up, you don't consume milk anymore. You don't need milk. So we know that as a child develops and they get older, they don't need to be breastfed anymore. Why do we still think that they need a cow's milk for them to get strong bones? It makes no sense, especially since they came out and told you that they lied to you and they don't need milk for strong bones. But actually, it was just marketing back in the day for when we had the Civil War, and they needed not the Civil War. Yeah, I think it was the Civil War. I don't think it was a World War. When it was the Civil War, they came out and said they had so many incentives for farmers when they came back from the war, and they came back and they had nothing to give the farmers as far as compensation. They had to get a way to give these farmers their money because they had them producing all of this milk and cheese and not enough buyers. So what did they start doing? Marketing. So you're not really getting down to the nitty gritty, but you're just scratching the surface. And that's why I say that not enough of you are educated for how much comments that y'all have on people's health, what kind of nutritionist you think you are. Because when I bring up the fact that I don't eat meat, I don't eat dairy, all of a sudden everybody is a nutritionist and they know about proteins and they know about healthy fats. But then when I bring up and ask, okay, so what's a healthy protein and what's a healthy fat? All they do is bring up meat and dairy. And so then when I come back and I'm like, well, do you know that chicken feeds type 2 diabetes? Do you know that you shouldn't be consuming pork because that's the dirtiest animal out there? Pigs don't sweat. Do you understand the fact that beef and all other animals are sitting there getting antibiotics to help them heal? Even if they tell you that it's antibiotic free, there is no way that an animal can go all of its life without a single antibiotic. There is no way, unless it's a GMO animal. Because by nature, you have to have some type of antibiotic to help you fight, whether it comes from fruits and vegetables or it comes from an injection that they give you. So they have to have some kind of antibiotic property to fight off. And they're not giving these animals fruits and vegetables fresh. They're giving them genetically modified soy. They're giving them genetically modified corn. So even if you're not eating an animal that's genetically modified, they're still consuming genetically modified organisms, and so are you, because you're consuming that animal. So that's why I say you're only scratching the surface with the things that you eat by doing this little quick Google search or looking at the package and seeing that it says it's antibiotic free. You're not getting down to the actual nitty gritty and reading in between the lines of what they do to you. And so it's time for you to wake up and stop just consuming because they tell you on the label that it's non-toxic, non-GMO. Actually learn what they're doing to your food. Thank you guys for the 2K likes. I really appreciate it. So if you are ready for a change, like I said, you need to stick with this live. And also, if you have not followed me, go ahead and follow me on my other social. Just in case they take this away from us, we will be going live on other places because I stay live because the Most High gave me, he gave me a message to share out with everybody else to understand that we have not been taught the way that we're supposed to according to his design, because he put us here to have dominion over the animals. He put us here to have dominion. Dominion does not mean slaughter and overconsume. What did he put us here in the original design to do? Eat fruits and vegetables. The only reason why man started over consuming meats and dairy the way that we do is because we were told by these officials that are given these man-made titles that it's okay for you to eat this way. Eat this meat, eat this dairy, and then you sit there and you feed into it because you know why? Because you believe more in them than you do the Most High himself who designed you, which is insane. You believe in their message more than what he tells you when he tells you that you should be daily renewing your mind to view what he deems as perfect and acceptable. You believe that if they tell you this, this is approved and this is okay, so you should be consuming it. Look at what happened in 2020. Didn't know a single thing about anything that they were talking about in 2020, but y'all were swearing up and down y'all knew everything. They flipped back and forth. 1 minute it'd be this, next minute it's that. And you're sitting there telling everybody and their mama exactly what you learned on the news. Didn't know a single thing. Didn't ask the Most High a single thing, what you should do, how you should do it. You just knew that they told you you can go back outside again if you get a stick and poke, and that's what you did and ran with. But the whole time that y'all were afraid and y'all were scared, I wasn't scared. I was in the house. Yes, I was protecting myself and not getting myself in trouble. But when I wanted to go out, I wasn't freaking out. When I did go out, I wasn't freaking out. And do you understand why? Because inflammation and disease and illness cannot thrive in a space that has nothing to feed off of. You stop feeding all of that crap. Stop feeding all the parasites inside of your body. Stop feeding the inflammation. Stop feeding the diseases. And guess what? It won't thrive. Because if you don't know this, cancer comes in contact with your body every single day. Cancer is a cell. Cancer cells can replicate inside of your body every single day. It's the matter of, do you have enough healthy cells to fight off the cancer? Or is cancer thriving in the space so then it can literally predominantly create a tumor? That's the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy person. Because every toxin that we come in contact with every single day is going to eventually produce some type of cancer cell that starts to replicate itself inside of our body. Do you have enough healthy cells to flush it out and get rid of it? Or is it replicating at a rapid rate, which causes cancer, which AKA leads to having tumors, AKA causes cancer? We're not looking at the big picture. Parasites. Parasites are a big issue that we don't deal with it. Other cultures deal with it. Other cultures do a parasite cleanse. I don't know how often, but I know they do at least 2 or 3 parasite cleanses a year. In America, we don't even know about parasites. Parasites, if you eat meat and dairy, you have parasites. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you eat meat and dairy, it's 100% you have parasites. Because parasites come from meat. Think about how when there is a rotting animal on the side of the road, when there's decaying meat on the side of the road, what attracts? Flies, maggots. Maggots also are a form of a parasite. So that right there just shows you that there are different types of parasitic bugs that thrive off of rotting meat. You eat this, and majority of society's digestive tract is not functioning at full capacity, let alone able to remove everything that we eat every day. Because majority of people think that they should be eating 3 meals a day because they get hungry 3 times a day, because they program themselves to eat 3 times a day. They eat 3 full heavy meals with meat and dairy, no vegetables, and that throws off your system itself. So that means your digestive tract is backed up. What happens when meat sits on the side of the road? It attracts those parasites. It attracts those bugs. Meat already had its own parasites inside of it, and so now it's having a parasitic party inside of your digestive tract. And it's not difficult for you to get rid of parasites, but people think that they can go take a quick little tincture or go get a supplement and pop this pill or take this and take this little tincture drop and it'll be fine. But that's not getting to the root cause. That's just getting a little surface. Because if you don't know, majority of that gets flushed out before it can actually reach deep enough in your system. You need a full cleanse for you to get rid of all the parasites. And how you do that is you use food. The same way that you got into the situation, that's how you get yourself out of it. You use food. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. I thought my dog. I was like, is my dog in here? Because 80% of your immune system is your gut. So when you think about if your gut is inflamed, your whole body is suffering. Not only is it causing issues with obviously your immune system, but if you don't realize the fact that also people who are dealing with allergies, you need to look at your gut balance. Because when you have an overloaded inflammation inside of your body, like I did and was suffering from allergies, allergies are a sign to let you know that you have an overloaded inflammation. Constantly having colds, getting flu every season, getting pneumonia every season is a sign to show you that your balance is off in your gut because it's overloaded inflammation. When your gut balance is off, do you know that that throws your brain off as well? Research has literally linked your gut inflammation to having depression, anxiety, panic attacks, brain fog, fatigue. So that's why I say your system is completely connected and it's a full circle. So if you are not doing your body a service of eating fruits and vegetables and using food as your medicine, you're doing your body a disservice and you are inflamed and you're throwing off all of your system's balances, which causes your organs to work overtime. I have talked about this before. It was a couple months ago that I was really honing in on this fact and it really shocked people. So I'm going to let y'all know if you don't know this. If you were sitting here, I lost my train of thought. I can't even lie to you. I was trying to remember what it was because I know we were talking about gut and inflammation. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought because I was this is what it is. So I was looking into gut inflammation and brain fog and things like that. People were talking about how they're doing autopsies on bodies. So coroners are talking about how when they're doing autopsies on bodies, they're seeing that the fact that they're cutting open the liver and it's smelling like Febreze, it's smelling like bleach, it's smelling like Lysol. Your liver is how you detoxify. So if it's smelling like what you're spraying in the air, can you only imagine what it's smelling like from what you consume? And then also when you flip back and you think about the fact that when you have an overload of inflammation or overload of toxins, your organs are working overtime, like I said. So let's say that your organs are working 3 times what they actually should be. This is aging you internally 3 times your actual age. And this isn't just me guesstimating. These coroners are literally coming out and telling you that younger people, they're seeing young people that unalive with their organs they're in their 30s, their organs are in their 60s. That's a crisis. You're in your 30s and your organs are in your 60s because your organs have literally been working 3 times what they need to be working all of your life. It's insane. And we're not told these things. Like, that's not national news. And you know why? Because literally the one of the people that are on the American Diabetes Association, I think that's what it is, or something, Diabetes Association, was talking about the fact that it's a national issue, but it made a national crisis because this is something that you're gonna have to deal with in your home. They're not gonna do a prohibition against sugar. You saw what happened when they did it against alcohol, and sugar literally throws off your gut balance as well as your brain balance because it stimulates your dopamine response. So can you only imagine if they took sugar off the shelves and say, you know what, we're no longer going to use processed sugar. This one little piece of hair is getting on my nerves. Can you only imagine the riots? Because there will be riots if people can't get their literal dopamine response from sugar. So that's why they said, yeah, it's an issue that you're going to have to deal with in your home. They can't make it a national crisis and all of a sudden have a national plan. Because the plan is keep doing what you're doing. That's what they want you to do. Keep doing what you're doing, poisoning yourself, or making an issue inside of your home. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for the share and the likes, guys. So, these are the 5 key factors to fueling your chronic inflammation. Processed sugar, like we talked about, spiking your blood sugar and triggering inflammation inside of your body. Dairy. Dairy causes gut irritation, hormone imbalances. It has its own hormones in it, regardless if it has added hormones. Think about a mother that is feeding their baby. When the baby gets sick, the mother's milk changes. When the baby needs something more of this, the milk changes. So think about how that baby that was literally taken away from their mother, and their mother's in a distressed state, the baby's in a distressed state, and then you consume that milk. What is inside of that? Refined grains. So all the refined grains are stripped away from their fiber, their nutrients, and this is going to lead you to having an insulin spike. This is the reason why they tell you to stay away from oats and oatmeal when you have an overload, when you're pre-diabetic and you have diabetes, because it's stripped away of fiber. You need actual non-refined grains. You need like oh my goodness, I can't think of what it is right now, but it's like a I can't think of it. It's a different type of oat, and it's not even bad. It's not bad at all. I really like it, honestly and truly. It gives like oats a little bit of a texture. I just can't think of it right now. When I think about it, I will definitely say it because it'll come to me. For most things, honey, you have to be careful with honey. Because obviously, like, honey is great. It's great. It's an antibacterial. What is it? Antimicrobial, I think that's what it is. An antibacterial. Great for medicine. Great for the gut. It's great overall, but you have to be careful because of the sugar content. Obviously, agave is great if you have diabetes. If you need A1C help, that is amazing because you don't need a whole lot of agave for sweetener. And same thing with that. You have to be careful because after a certain point, it can have a whole lot of sugar content in it as well. Told me that I have Jardins and hold on, my thing reset. Cause diabetes is a progressive disease. Well, I'm gonna say this with love and light, but if your doctor is telling you that you have something for the rest of your life, you need to look at them and say, okay, but why? And then, as they tell you you have it for the rest of your life, go look up stories of people healing it. Instead of saying like, oh, okay, well, how do I manage it? Go look up stories of people healing the disease that you have. And majority of people, because I was looking up diabetes research and cancer research, and majority of the people that I saw, especially on Facebook, they were talking about they healed themselves. They all went to a fruit cleanse, fruit fasting, 3 months. I think the longest that I saw was like 6 months, but I think for between 1 to 3 months, heal themselves from cancer. Cancer is the number one unaliver on the earth. So when I say that you can heal yourself from anything, your doctor's not going to tell you this because they need you to be a returning customer and be panicked rather than dealing with the issue. So don't substitute agave and brown sugar anymore either. You shouldn't be using brown sugar. I changed my diet. No sugar, no dairy, no wheat, no grains. You shouldn't have any meat. Carbs are not the issue. Grains are not your issue. Wheat is not the issue. The issue is meat and dairy and heavily processed snacks, sugars, all those different things. Because they tell you that carbs are the issue. They tell you that wheat and grains are the issue. You should be focusing more on the other aspects of fruits and vegetables rather than carbs, but carbs are not your main issue. Because you should be using stabilizers when you're eating carbs. So if you don't know what stabilizers are, then that's an issue. Because that's the reason why people get led to the point of pre-diabetes and diabetes, because you're not stabilizing your blood sugar. You have to stabilize if you're going to eat carbs. You have to stabilize if you're going to eat healthy sugars. Or I'm not going to be like, because I'm not going to say I don't eat snacks. So like if you're going to eat a sugary snack that doesn't have a bunch of processed sugars, but it still has sugar in it, you need stabilizers. That's the reason why I said you have to be careful with you when you consume a whole bunch of honey and agave. It depends on what you're doing and how you do it, because you have to have that stability. I found out I had endometriosis. Yes, and that's a big issue because endometriosis is inflammatory. Any reproductive issues is inflammatory. Untreated herself. Exactly. So I'm like, people think that they have to have radiation and chemo and all these different things. People have healed themselves from cancer by doing what I'm teaching you to do. So there is no illness or disease that you can't treat off of the strategies that I give you. That's why I say that if you're afraid, if you're scary, if you feel skeptical, I'm not here for you. But if you're ready for results and you know that it hasn't been treating you correctly from what you've been doing with following what they're telling you already, I'm here to support you, because that means you're at the point where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to try something and I know I need a change. But if you're just going to sit here and keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, please go find somebody that's selling you a pill, a quick fix, a prescription or something, or whatever else that you've been doing. Keep doing what you've been doing, but you're not going to see any changes. You might see a little bit of management, a little bit of improvement, but it's not going to help you heal. Yeah, no more brown sugar. Cut brown sugar out. Brown sugar is just white sugar with molasses added. It's not good. It's not good. And I still bake. That's why I'm like, you don't have to have these certain things that are easy, accessible, cheap on the shelves to be able to enjoy. I still bake. I just made cinnamon rolls recently. I just made an apple pie recently. I went to my best friend's house and was like, you know what? I want to bake something. I made an apple pie at her house. Didn't use any inflammatory sugar, no inflammatory flour. I used the right correct flour. I used the right correct ingredients. And you know what? We were all sitting there happy with our little apple pie. Not inflamed afterwards, not feeling sick afterwards, not feeling like, oh my God, my gut's unbalanced. And you know why? Because you have to know how to support your systems with the foods that you want to eat. So it's a matter of understanding that, oh, I didn't finish my 5 foods, but these foods are causing chronic inflammation and they promote them to you. That's the reason why they're cheap. That's the reason why it's more expensive for you to eat plant-based. But you don't know that you can eat these plant-based foods and not have to spend and blow a bag every time you eat. It's just because you don't know where to shop and how to shop. You might have to go to more places than you would normally, but at the end of the day, you'll be spending around the same amount you're spending now and taking care of your body all at the same time. You won't be as hungry, so you won't be eating as much. Like, let's really break that down. When you're giving your body everything that it needs, because you're craving food right now, overload of food, because you're super hungry, because you're malnourished. You eat, but you're malnourished. When you're nourished and you're eating, you're not going to be able to eat all of this stuff. When I first went plant-based, it was a shocker to me to realize that, like, I wasn't eating 3 meals a day then. I was still intermittent fasting when I first went plant-based. But it was a shocker to me to realize, like, it wasn't the fact that, oh, I was over consuming because I was greedy. I was over consuming because I didn't have enough food that was had nutritional value. I was lacking nutrients. So that's the reason why I was so hungry all the time. And I was craving sugar all the time. And I was eating all the time. Thank you for the follows. And so me thinking like, oh, okay, so I'm working out hard, so I'm super, super hungry. And this is the reason why I'm eating all the time. Yes, you can work out and you can crave and you can be hungrier. But you shouldn't be sitting there eating a full meal and then be looking at me and like, dang, I'm still hungry. Because that's a sign to let you know you didn't eat everything that you needed for your body to be stabilized and full. Which brand of flour do you use? I find myself constantly changing mine. There's so many different healthy flours. It's not like I just use one specifically. I use a plethora for different things. Like spelt flour, that's how I make my pancakes. I also found out you can use teff flour for your pancakes. There is 00 flour, which is a non-gluten flour. Just focus on trying to find something gluten-free. There's almond flour. So it's just a matter of what you're making and what you're using it for. I do have that in my plant-based cookbook. I have a beginner plant-based cookbook as well as a eating away diabetes to help you heal from diabetes. Thank you for the follows. It's amazing. So you share all about that on your page. Yes, this is what my TikTok is about. My whole TikTok is about me being a plant-based naturopath. I live a naturopathic lifestyle, and so I teach others how to be able to do that. I am not like a certified naturopathic doctor, but I follow the same patterns and rules that they do because I use my herbal PDR if somebody needs that, but I don't teach people from the aspect of using herbs until you start using food as your medicine, because you have to be eating correctly in order for you to be able to start healing, and then seeing how tinctures and herbs can really affect your body in a positive space. If you're still eating meat and dairy, you're just managing just like you're doing with a prescription. And I had somebody that came in here the other day, so I'm just going to preference this and say this, that asked what was my background. My background is in psychology. I learned about the body in psychology. That obviously psychology was my love, and that's where I got started. But I learned about the body in psychology. We learned about many different aspects of the body because that's a part of psychology. And then I got into the whole aspect of internal stress and all of the things that you learn about the body. And that made me realize the fact that we're not taking care of ourselves the way that we should be, which led me to doing all of this research. And now here I am with almost 3,000 followers, which I really appreciate you guys, everybody that's followed today. Thank you. Probably dehydrated too. Sometimes we eat when we are thirsty. Yes, that's a fact. That is one thing that I teach in my detoxing and cleansing guide. If you want to learn how to parasite cleanse, heavy metal detox, gut rebalancing, anti-inflammatory help, fruit and vegetable cleansing. I'm missing one. I can't think of it. Microplastic releasing, as well as a template guide. I teach you completely in there how to support your body. Because a lot of people don't realize that we're not getting hydration on the cellular level, and we're not getting oxygen on the cellular level. And how you do that the easiest way without having to overconsume a whole bunch of water. Because people talk about, oh, I drink a whole lot of water and all I do is pee all day. How much fruit do you eat? Because that means you're not getting hydration or oxygen on a cellular level if you're not eating fruit. Because that's how you get hydration on a cellular level. Because majority of the water that you consume, because the way society is, the way we eat, it's flushing. It's trying to get rid of all the other stuff. So it doesn't get down to the cellular level the way that it could be and it should be. I love chickpea flour and flour mushrooms. Me and chickpea flour have a love-hate relationship because of the way that it like crumbles. So me and chickpea flour have a love-hate relationship. When you're doing like chicken and stuff, maybe I think I had a bad experience, but maybe if you were doing it in a specific way. I make chickpea eggs. I love it for my chickpea eggs. So it's the matter of what you're cooking it with, because you can't use chickpea flour for pancakes at all. Is unsweetened almond milk bad? Are you making it yourself? What kind of almond milk? It depends on what you're getting it from. If you're using Silk, that's terrible. I don't know any other brands, but that's the one that came off the top of my head. Terrible. Don't do it. So it's the matter of which one you're using. Okay, so we got through refined grains. Processed vegetable oils is another thing that's fueling your chronic inflammation. If you still eat out, you eat fast food, you should be knowing what they're cooking your food in. If you eat at restaurants, you should be asking them, what do you cook my food in? How do you cook it? If you don't ask these questions, you're doing yourself a disservice when you eat. Because these vegetable oils are GMO. They're going to lead you to having a whole bunch of inflammation. They're disrupting your balance, and this promotes inflammation. That's the reason why after you eat your fried chicken and you fried it in canola oil and vegetable oil and all this different stuff, you have this like phlegm cough. You feel bad afterwards. You get the itis. You're tired because you've literally eaten a whole meal of inflammation. Artificial additives and chemicals, preservatives, dyes, all of these are toxins that are going to disrupt your cell cycle. This is going to disrupt your balance, cause hormonal imbalances, cause different issues. Are there any diabetic recipes in a plant-based cookbook? Eating Away Diabetes is a full-blown cookbook that has not only just those recipes, but it's literally the guide to showing you how to eat away diabetes. It's going through A1C, it's going through inflammation, it's giving you was it anti-inflammatory help? A1C, no, diet culture, and then anti-inflammatory help. I'm trying to go through and hit each point that I hit in the book. It gives you, okay, so we go through A1C, we go through diet culture, we go through, I just lost my train of thought, goodness. But in the end, the full breakdown, I show you how to eat a rainbow plate. I go through everything that you need for you to be able to eat away diabetes. And then I go through stabilizers, because that's a big key factor that people are not realizing that they're missing. And that's the reason why they think that fruit sugar is bad sugar. Fruit sugar is not bad sugar. When you get diabetes and they tell you you shouldn't be eating certain fruits, or you have to limit certain fruits because it has too much sugar, that's not the problem. The problem is that you don't have a stabilizer. There was somebody on TikTok that did they do an amazing little study. I can't think of what the man's name, but he has diabetes, and he does little studies to be like, okay, if I eat this fruit, what do I need to eat with it to combine it, kind of situation? Or if I eat this, is it going to throw off my blood sugar balance? He ate an apple one day, obviously going to spike your blood sugar. He ate an apple another day, paired it with some almond butter. He had no spike, barely noticeable spike. That's what I mean by you need a stabilizer. And so that's what I teach you throughout that book is stabilizers. Because even if you don't have diabetes, or if you don't have pre-diabetic symptoms, you still have to have a stabilizer. Because without the stabilizer, this is how we are in the space where we are with 88 million adults in America that don't even know that they're pre-diabetic because we don't consume stabilizers enough with foods. We don't even know what a stabilizer is. I get cramps when I eat meat. As you should. And I said that in the best way possible, as you should. I don't know what that is. So I have endometriosis, but my partner was told they're in danger of becoming diabetic. I'm trying to figure out which cookbook to get. It's in my bio. There's two. The first one is just a beginner guide to show you how to make plant-based meals. So those are like my go-tos that I still make to this day. They're just like simple, easy. Anybody can make it if you're just learning how to cook in the kitchen. There were recipes that not only did I help myself stay plant-based, but also helped me be able to like show my best friend how to cook kind of in the kitchen and make plant-based meals. And she went plant-based afterwards because she was like, oh, this is easy. But the Eating Away Diabetes cookbook has some of those recipes, not all of them. And it's not difficult recipes in there, but they're more so tailored to like, okay, you want a chili dinner. Okay, you want to, I can't think off the top of my head of what's in here right now because it's been a couple, like I said, I made this at the end of last year. Let me pull it up. Like I have a black bean burger in there, I know for sure. So like there's a different kind of recipe format in there. So the plant-based one, because even working, they're both plant-based. They're both plant-based. I don't teach you to eat any other way. I eat plant-based. I have been plant-based for 4 years. They're both plant-based. They're both plant-based. But I show you how to make stabilizing meals in that cookbook. That is more of so to show you like actual. The first one is a helpful tidbit, if that makes sense. The first one is just like getting you introduced, understanding how to make it. The Eating Away Diabetes is beginner friendly, but it's more detailed. Like this book is over 100 pages because it's more detailed to show you how to eat away diabetes, understanding what stabilizers are, understanding how to get a complete balance, knowing what how to fast and do it effectively and correctly, understanding what fuel comes from. We go through hydration, fuel, and fasting in that book. I give you a full breakdown from nutrition of eating your rainbow plate, weight fluctuation, understanding that, gaining balance and weight fluctuation. This is eating a rainbow plate. I'm trying to go through it. We go through emotional eating and understanding the ties between emotional eating. So that's why I said this is completely eating away diabetes and showing you how to do that. As well as intuitive eating and understanding that. Going through, so this is what I was looking for. It goes through insulin resistance, A1C, and diet culture, breaking those down, talking about lack of movement, giving you everything that you need to start the guide and like what will help you support you cooking and staying out of the kitchen as less as possible, but being able to still eat your way into diabetes because people don't want to be in the kitchen all day. So I don't want you to have to be in the kitchen all day. And then, like I said, breaking down fasting and then giving you balance. Okay, that's perfectly fine. DM me, of course. I would love to know. And then, just giving you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then breaking down each aspect of what you need for each healthy category or each meal category of understanding like what this dinner, what this lunch, what this breakfast is for, what it should be used for, rather than just, I'm hungry. And it has a little bonus at the end of sweet little bites that you can have as well. Sweet treats that you can still consume while you're trying to eat away your diabetes because they're not going to be spiking your blood sugar, but rather we're learning that you can feed a craving because you know what stabilizers you need now. Okay? And then all through that, and there's a bonus section too. I'm not going to tell you too much what's in the bonus section, but there's a lot of bonuses in here. There's a big bonus section. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's about 11 pages in the bonus section alone. So I think we're right at 100 pages. So it's a pretty good book. It's a good book. So V, if you want to know what stabilizers are, they are listed in that book. We're going to get back on our topic as soon as I figure out where we were. Okay, environmental toxins, like I talked about before. Environmental toxins come from everywhere. They can come from a number of different places, from their environment, our skincare, our cleaning products, even some water sources that you consume. Obviously, if you are not using a filtered water, if you are still drinking tap water, don't stop immediately. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be getting a charcoal filter or something that is from a reputable brand. Okay. And if you want to know what I use for my water filters, it's Epic water filters. That's what I use. I've been using that since I went plant-based. These are non-negotiables because you can't just be sitting here thinking that you're going to cleanse and you're going to detox and still be drinking tap water. You can't be using toxic cleaning products because, like I said, that stores inside of your liver. They literally cut you open and can smell that. The same thing with skincare. Hold on. It's asking me to verify myself. 1 second, guys. Same thing with skincare. You can't be sitting here. Yes, Epic water filter. You can't be sitting here. They have pictures. They have the like smaller pitchers that go in the fridge. They have the big long ones that can sit on your counter, and then I have a water bottle. It's not in here right now, but I do have a big water bottle and they have a smaller one. And they're just like replaceable filters. And on top of that, they have a recycling program. You're so welcome. If you, I think you send in like 4 or 5 filters, you get one for free. So like they have a recycling program too. So these are non-negotiables. These are things that you have to change. It's not something that you have to immediately start with when you're in my program with me. If you do work with me in my program, you start with food, and then we work from food to products, and then we learn how to make our own natural medicine, and then I give you sustainable habits and sustainable ways for you to be able to keep this lifestyle. We go through 12 weeks total during that program, about 3 months, and each week it's about 2 weeks per section of the program. This is going to help you be able to, like I said, eat away whatever diseases, illnesses you have going on, be able to support your body with food, learn how to use food as your medicine, and then we'll work on making your non-toxic products. So your body wash, your mouthwash, your toothpaste, being able to make your own laundry detergent, all of these things that are vital and that you need, and you shouldn't have to be blowing a bag on, because too many people are sitting here thinking like, okay, well, it says non-toxic, and then you spend all this money and you get a bottle this big. You can make it in bulk. Like, you shouldn't have to spend that much because you don't know how to make it on your own. That's just really what it is. But when you learn how to make it your own, it's like, yes, you might be spending $50 on a big thing of soap, but in the end, my soap container lasts me probably 6 months, depending on how much usage I have out of it, obviously, because I literally, like I said, I do body wash. I do my own, I don't make my own face wash. I do still buy my face wash just because I found one right at the beginning that I really, really like, but they stay sold out. So that's something that's on my agenda of I might start making my own face wash, but I make my own hand soap. I make my own, what is it called, laundry detergent, and it's not difficult. It's just a matter of knowing how to do these things, and this is not only going to save you money, but honestly, when you make it in bulk, it saves you time as well. Being able to make your own oils for your body, even lotion, because people make lotion. I don't make lotion or like soaps and things like that, as far as like full actual soap bars, but you can make it yourself. It's not difficult. You just have to know how to do it. And so it's non-negotiable for your healing. You have to tackle every aspect if you want to learn how to heal. But it's a matter of knowing how to do it and what you need to do first. Because if you don't know how to do it, then you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to feel like there's no way for you to be able to do this. You're going to sit here and think that you have to get everything done in one day, in a week. If you're like me, especially, where you're like, let me knock it out, you're going to overwhelm yourself. That's what I teach in that program, how to not make it overwhelming. Not to have all the stumbling blocks that I had in the first 3 months of me being plant-based, and to get rid of all the stumbling blocks and all of those like what if questions, and rather get to the, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you heal. This is how you get to the space of what you're looking for. This is how you support your body. And that's what I teach you with every product or service, regardless of what you do. If you just tap into buying one of my ebooks, or if you get into that program. But that program is your having endless access to me, because we do have something that you reach out directly to me for. We have one-on-one sessions. We have workshops in there. There's a plethora of things that you get in that program, and that's the reason why it's at the price point that it is, which you can get a Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay, obviously. But this is a full transformation program. This is something that you will take and you will have for the rest of your life, and you literally can share with people in your family to be like, you know what, this is what I started to do. Because in the beginning, people didn't understand what I was doing. I was the only one who went vegan, plant-based, whatever in my family, right? So they're looking at me and they're like, okay, so you don't eat meat. What do you eat, right? They're asking all these questions. Okay, so why are you doing that? Within the first 6 months, they stopped asking me, okay, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then they started asking within the first year of seeing my transformation. And if you have not seen my transformation, it's pinned in my bio. Also, go check that out. Literally looked and we're like, okay, so you made that food from what? They're like, okay, so what are you eating today? Like, you looking good. What did you do? You went plant-based. Okay, so what did you start doing? And they're asking me all these questions of how I did it and why and all this stuff. And they're not asking in a space of like judgment of like how people are like, okay, well, what are you eating? You eat only salads? But rather they're trying to figure out how can they start changing their life too. Majority of people that come to you aren't going to be ready, but they're open to hear. And so I'm here for the people that are ready for a change. That's what my program is for the people that are ready for a change. But I am here for the people that are ready to hear. But I'm not here for the yes men and yes women that are just going to be in here just, yeah, good job, give me claps. I don't need that. What I need is to see transformation and change, because there's too many people out here that are suffering that don't have to be. These diseases and illnesses are preventable, and not only preventable, but treatable. And yet y'all sit here and manage diseases because a doctor told you that you have to manage it. It's insanity. So let's talk about how do we reverse inflammation and heal. How do we reverse these things? Your body is a healing vessel, like we talked about in the beginning. Your body can heal when you remove the issues that are harming it. Remove the things, remove the toxins that are harming you. Thank you for the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. So step one for you, start eating whole plant-based foods. Start eating whole foods, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, healthy fats, healthy proteins. These are how you support your body. Number two, we start prioritizing our gut health. Your gut and your brain are directly connected. You know what helps your gut? Fermented foods, probiotics, fiber. In America, we do not get enough fiber. When you're looking, you're like, okay, what is a fermented food? And you're sitting here like, I don't know how in the world I'm supposed to get a fermented food. I don't really know what kimchi is, but I've heard about kimchi. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. If somebody comes back and tells me it's a meat or dairy, I take it back, but I don't know what it is. But sauerkraut, pickles, those are good fermented foods. If you like pickles, like I like pickles, just make it a habit for you just to eat a pickle. Like, drink some pickle juice if you like. My best friend likes pickle juice. That was something I found out because we've been best friends all of our life. But when I found that out, because I guess that was something she was hiding from me, when I found out she drank pickle juice, I was just staring at her. I was like, you drink what? But it's good for you. It's kind of a wait, what? But it's good for you. Step three, reduce your toxin exposure. So stop using all these toxic chemicals inside of your home. Stop thinking that bleach is bleaching your cleaning instead of just bleaching and making it white. Bleach does not clean. There has been so many scientific articles that they're not telling you on that little bleach commercial. There have been so many scientific journals and articles that have come out that talked about the fact that bleach only masks the issue. It does not actually clean. They bleach these hospitals with all of this bleach, but they don't tell you the fact that all it does is just move the bacteria around in the surface. That's the reason why in 2020 they were telling you there was no cleaning products that could get rid of the bacteria of the issue that we were having. I'm gonna say this one more time. This is the reason why in 2020 they were telling you that bleach could not get rid of the issue that you were having inside your home, because they were swearing up and down it was everywhere. Do you understand that if bleach in its entirety cleans and disinfects the way that they say, how in the world would it not get rid of a bacteria? Because it doesn't. They're lying. That's why I'm like, y'all have to get away from that mindset. Stop using Febreze. Stop using Lysol in your home. Start making your own, which is super easy, your own fragrance sprays. Make your own perfumes. They're not going to tell you these things. That's why I said that, like, it's really an agenda against your health. Everything that they're promoting, everything that has a commercial, you should be questioning it. That's just kind of how I am. When Rayo's started to have their commercial for their pasta sauce, even though I love Rayo's, I did start to question, what did they change? And I think they just came out with more products rather than changed, because they didn't change their ingredients. So that's why I say, if it has a commercial, question it. If it has a commercial, look at it and go, okay, what are your ingredients? What is this? If it's a prescription on anything, don't take it. Start questioning why they still have to market to you bleach and Lysol and Febreze. Why was Febreze once a feminine spray? Why, before Febreze became a household spray, was it recommended for women to use it as a feminine spray? And then when they found out, oh no, this is not good, it's going to give people reproductive cancer, guess who stopped promoting it as a feminine spray and started saying spray it around your home for you to be able to breathe in? Make your home a non-toxic place so you don't have to sit here and fear what you're breathing in, what you're coming in contact with. If you have children, especially small children that are still mouthing things, think about how much they lick. Think about how much they taste. Think about how many chemicals you use in your home and you spray up in the air and you wipe down surfaces because you think that you have to use this Clorox wipe on their toys. I used to work with kids. I worked with kids for over 4 years, five years, honestly. I think it was over 5 years, but I worked with kids for quite a while in a professional setting, outside of just me working with kids, family members, and etc. I hated having to clean up their spaces, and I hated using the chemicals. As often as I possibly could, I didn't use chemicals. Majority of the time, I sprayed down our room with just water and soap. Because you don't need all of those chemicals that they're telling you and promoting you to use, because all it's doing is throwing off your balance. It's also causing you to poison everybody in your home. Get moving daily is the fourth and final step, which is not the only step. So these are the key factors for you to start reversing inflammation and start to heal. You have to be moving. Like I said in the beginning of this live, I am not the one that's the workout guru that's getting out here running miles a day. You can as simply as getting stretched, start stretching, doing some body workouts, do some weight training, do a little bit of stretching, and do some yoga poses. You don't have to do yoga because I don't do yoga. I don't participate in that, but I do poses. Do different things to get your body moving, because when you are moving, everything inside of your body is also flowing as well. So just like water gets everything flowing, movement gets you flowing. Do something as simple as just taking a walk. Take a 30-minute walk. Take a 15-minute walk. That's better than doing nothing. Something is better than nothing. Starting out doing 5 minutes a day when you haven't done any activity is better than none. Doing 10 minutes after your 5 minutes. I literally went from, I think it was last year. Last year was my goal was for me to start working out 4 times a week. Because I've never been to the point, unless I was forced from sports, to work 4 times a week. I started out with doing 2 days a week. I would do Monday. If I felt like it on Wednesday, I would do Wednesday. And if I felt like it on Friday, I would do Friday. That's how I got to 3. But 2 was my goal. I went from 2 to 3. And then by the end of the year, I really feel like I started, because it's 2025. So I started in 2023. I take that back. I started in 2023. By the end of 2024, I was working out 4 to 5 times a week. By the end of 2024, I was doing 4 to 5 times a week. Not even second guessing it. Like hitting 5 times was like me sitting there looking back and going, oh, I already worked out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I'm outside. I might as well just go ahead and keep on walking. Like, that's how second thought that it came. It was literally in my subconscious to just get up and get moving. I made it something that just became second thought. And you know why? Because I realized when I was moving, I felt better. When you feel constipated, when you feel bloated, when you're sitting there, and I'm not talking about on your cycle, that's a whole different story. But when you were just sitting there on a regular basis, and you feel overloaded, you feel constipated, you feel stuck, just get up and walk 5-10 minutes. See how you feel afterwards. If you have a rebounder, rebounders are amazing. They're becoming popular. If you can fit a rebounder in your home, get a rebounder. You only have to do it for 10 minutes, and it opens up your full lymphatic system. If you wear a bra as a woman, you need to be opening your lymphatic system, because bras block your lymphatic system. This is how you develop breast cancer. This is how you develop thyroid cancer. This is how you develop all of these cancers and these tumors in your arms and in your breasts and in your throat and your neck, because your lymphatic system is closed. You have to be flowing constantly. Let the blood flow. Your bra is blocking your blood flow. And I'm saying this as somebody who was so confused of why I was getting all this pain from wearing bras, and everybody's like, oh, it's just because you wear wired bras, so don't wear wired bras. I stopped wearing wired bras and I still was getting pain. it's because it's blocking your lymphatic system, and that is showing through you getting pain. I used to get these red splotchy marks right here when I would wear bras, or if I wore something that was too tight around here. It's because it's blocking your lymphatic system, and so it's literally making blood vessels show up on your skin to let you know it was too tight. So for everybody that's in here right now, I would love to take any questions that you guys have. Thank you for the shares and the likes. I really appreciate it. Before I get off of here, I do have some food in the oven that's waiting for me and calling my name. So what questions do you guys have for me? In the space of anti-inflammatory, helping your system heal itself. Excuse me. And like I said, if you have not already, go grab that Eating Away Diabetes cookbook. It's linked in my bio. And if you are ready for the next step, if you are ready to get into the program, my Bloom and Thrive program is going to help you be able to be walked through step by step how you live a plant-based lifestyle and start supporting yourself and understanding what space you need to be in, especially where we're going for 2030. If you know how this world is, if you have already felt the effect of what's happening, and that's just outside of the election and everything else, but rather just the shift that has been happening since 2020, and you feel that energy, you have to realize that that energy is going to keep being taken away, and food is the place where you have to start adding energy back. And if you're not eating spiritually alive food, you're eating a bunch of spiritually dead food. You're not going to be giving your body the energy back, which is not going to help you. So what questions do you guys have for me before I hop off? What questions do you have? And if you have any questions about the program, please ask. What questions do you guys have? If you have any questions about the Eating Away Diabetes cookbook, or if you're trying to figure out which product or service you should tap into, and you're like, I don't know. And what questions do you have? I answer all. And if you have anything that you don't want to share on live, that you're like, you know what, I'd rather ask this personally, I do take DMs. My DMs are always open. You can DM me. My past lives are always posted on YouTube, so this will go on YouTube if you've missed the entirety. What questions do you guys have? Or I'm gonna get off. I don't know how long we've been on here, but I'm not too hungry. It's around 2:30, which I'm kind of shocked I'm not too hungry, but I'm gonna go ahead and just like eat that little snack, so that way I'm not like starving later. What questions do you guys have for me? And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate all the comments, all the likes. Y'all are real ones. No questions? Really? No questions? No, none about insulin resistance, inflammation. What type of rice do I recommend? Wild rice. That's the only one that I recommend. Wild rice. That's the most expensive rice. But if you want rice, that's the rice you need to eat. That's the best rice. It's not even technically a grain like other rice, but it's so close to rice that it's categorized as a rice because it looks like rice. It's just black. And it's delicious too. I had it for the first time when I went to Vegas actually, and I was like, let me try it since it's so expensive, and I was like, I'm here and I really wanted this anyway, and it was delicious. I loved it. I was like, oh, this is it. And if you're a person who loves rice but you're not necessarily trying to blow a bag on rice, just make quinoa is the same thing. You just season it. You just gotta season it. You can't have quinoa by itself. Don't eat quinoa with no seasoning. I do that for my dog. I don't do that for me. I gotta have my seasonings in it. What other questions do you guys have for me? And I do show you how to make a delicious quinoa recipe in my cookbooks, in my beginner one and in my Eating Away Diabetes. So like I said, like tap into those. If you were looking for plant-based recipes and you are a beginner and you just need, or if you are just needing inspiration and support, the beginner guide will help any aspect that you were on, and the Eating Away Diabetes is going to obviously help you be able to eat away your inflammation, any pre-diabetes symptoms, any diabetes symptoms, and just help you be able to understand totally how to eat in the aspect of eating away diseases and eating a rainbow plate and supporting your body with stabilizers and things like that. What other questions do you guys have for me? I need to get a little mini trash can in here, and I really need to wash this, but I got to take it out from under my PC and everything else, and that's just a lot of work. I mean, that's not a lot of work, but it is a lot of things on top of it, but I need to wash it. little random rant in my brain. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any more questions. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I am going to end my live. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube. If you have not followed me on my other socials, all of my social media links are linked in my bio. Thank you for the follow. Just in case they do take this away from us, like I said, if you are on my email list, you will know exactly where we go and where we'll be live. If you are not on my email list, every single Wednesday I send out a Wellness Wednesday email, which is going to let you know what I have been researching, what I know as far as the health industry, what is going on with our food, and etc. etc. So get on my email list if you have not already. The wellness email for today has gone out, but I send one out every single Wednesday. I try to send it out probably between this time all the way up to like 6 a.m. So it just depends. I like to be like the daily news kind of situation. But thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. Check the links in my bio. If you have any questions, please DM me. Feel free. Have a great rest of your day.